Hey everybody, welcome back to The Improved Cooking. So I just ordered a Detroit style pizza pan off of Amazon and it came in, so I'm going to show you how to make Detroit style pizza today. What's really cool about Detroit pizza is it's its own style of pizza, like really not similar to anything else. You cook it in this rectangular aluminum pan and you put brick cheese on it and you sprinkle it all over. You put cubes on instead of shredding it. And you make sure that it gets around the edge so that you get a nice burnt crust around the edge. It's really unique, and I'm excited to show you how to make it. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start making this dough. The recipe I'm going to be using today comes courtesy of King Arthur flour. Now what I'm going to be doing is making it in the food processor because it's nice and easy this way, although you can use a stand mixer or even knead it by hand if you want. So start off with 1 cup of warm water. I had mine heated to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're going to want to add in 1.5 teaspoons of instant yeast. Pour that into the water and then get yourself a spoon and mix this all together and then set it aside for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, go get yourself 2.5 cups of bread flour and pour that into the food processor. Once that's in, get yourself 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, pour that in as well. Now what I'm going to do here is put the lid on for a second and just pulse these together to make sure they're good and combined. Once that's done, you're going to want to go get your water yeasty mixture. As you can see, it did foam up a little bit even though we didn't feed the yeast. And then simply enough, pour the water and yeast in with the flour into the food processor. From there, you're going to want to mix this together for about 2 to 3 minutes until it combines together and forms a nice smooth dough. It will be pretty tacky because it's pretty well hydrated, as you can see here, but that's okay, that's what you're going for. So remove the food processor and get ready to turn this out. Now we don't need to knead this or anything, it's pretty straightforward, just take it out of the food processor. Alright, I'm just removing the blade here, it's pretty stuck on. Like I said, the dough is a little bit tacky, but that's to be expected. So what you're going to get is a large bowl and coat it with some olive oil because we're going to put the dough in there and you don't want it to stick while it's rising. So carefully extricate the dough from the food processor. Now what I'm going to do is swirl it around in the olive oil for a bit just so that it doesn't, again, stick. And then cover with plastic wrap and stick this in a warm, dry place for about 2 hours or until it doubles in size. Give it one final swirl in the olive oil before putting it away to rise. And while the dough is rising, let's talk about the pizza sauce we're going to be making. Start off with a 28-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes. Pour it into either, like a bowl or really whatever you want to mix in. And then you're going to add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. I'm using 3 tablespoons here. Carefully put that in. And then you're going to want to add in a good pinch of oregano. Similarly, a good pinch of basil. And then, wouldn't you know it, Rose was suddenly interested in what I was making. Add in a teaspoon of white granulated sugar to cut down on the acidity of the tomatoes. I then add in a few shakes of crushed red pepper flakes for a little bit of heat. And then a little bit of kosher salt, a good pinch of it. And then a few cloves of freshly crushed garlic. Now, I'm using 4 cloves in this pizza sauce. You can use less if you want. You can use more if you want. I think 4 is going to make it nice and garlicky, which I like. So then mix this all together. I'm using an immersion blender, but you can really make this in a regular blender or even in a food processor. Any of those work. You can even crush it all by hand if you want. But anyways, once that's done, go get yourself a medium sauce pot. Pour all of the pizza sauce in. Go put it on a burner on a medium heat and allow it to simmer for about half an hour until it thickens up. That's what you're looking for. So while that is simmering, I'm bringing out the dough again. It's sat for about 2 hours. It's pretty much doubled in size. So I'm going to give it a slight little punch to deflate it. And then what I'm going to do is get out my Detroit style pizza pan. Look at that gorgeous thing. So that's an aluminum pan, 9x13 with high walls designed specifically for Detroit pizza. This is the typical pan that they would use in Detroit to make Detroit pizza. And I'm excited to try it out. So anyways, coat the pan in some olive oil. I used 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and then I'm just spreading it out with my hand on the bottom. From there, I'm going to extricate the dough from the bowl and place it into the pizza pan. Now, similar to pretty much any pizza I've made on this channel, you're going to want to try and spread it out to all the corners of the pan, but it's going to fight you because the glutens need time to relax. So cover it with either plastic wrap again or a tea towel, and then just let it rest for about half an hour to allow the gluten's to relax. So after half an hour, here we go. And as you'll see, it's just much easier to work with now. The dough will easily spread out to all corners, all sides of the pan. So once you have the dough all spreaded out, it's time to start topping this. Starting off with some pepperonis. Now really, you can put whatever toppings you want on your pizza, really, that's entirely up to you. I love my pizza completely covered, like head to toe in pepperoni, so that's what I'm going to do, as you can see here. Now once the pepperoni is on, it's time to add your cheese on. Now like I said in the intro, you use cubed brick cheese. Now really, you can use shredded mozzarella if you want, but if you want that classic Detroit pizza taste, get yourself some brick cheese and cut it up into small cubes and put it on the pizza that way. Now, and what you'll want to do is make sure it's completely covered and down along the sides. Like you want to make sure that the cheese hugs up against the side of the pan so that it melts and crisps up along the edges. As you can see here, I have it completely covered and making sure that it's up along the edge. Next up is adding the sauce on. Now you can either cover it completely in sauce, or if you want a more traditional Detroit style pizza look, you're going to want to add 3 long strips of sauce down the pie. That's what I'm doing here. Really, it's fine if you do cover the entire pie, it's going to taste amazing anyway, but if you want a more classic look, do 3 long strips of sauce like I've done here. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that looks. So anyways, preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and bake this for 15 minutes. Now I would recommend rotating it halfway through, but anyways, 15 minutes and it comes out amazing looking like this. Holy crap, that looks good. Look at that. So pretty straightforward. Get yourself your offset spatula and run it along the edges of the pizza pan to de-stick the pizza, or make sure it isn't sticking in the first place, but then let it cool down for 5 to 10 minutes. So as you can see, I just did a quick test of the pan to make sure I didn't burn my hands, and now I'm getting myself a metal spatula and pulling it out. Look at that burnt cheese crust along the edge. Oh my god, that looks so good. Oh man, that looks like a perfect Detroit pizza. Oh my god, I can't wait to crack into this. So speaking of which, let's cut off a piece and give it a taste test and let you know how it tastes. Similar to pretty much anything I cook on this channel, I am going with a corner piece. I know that is shocking at this point in time. So take a quick look at the cheese crust there. It's not uniform all the way around, but hey, whatever. It's still going to taste amazing, and let me tell you, oh my god, that is good. The cheese crust is nice. It's nice and crispy along the edge, and then it's crispy on the bottom as well, but the inside of the dough is nice and fluffy. The pizza sauce is rich and just so friggin' good. And hey, it's pepperoni cheese pizza. Like, what more could you ask for? This is just superb, superb. And the brick cheese is quite good. Like, it is really nice. Like, it's got a slightly different taste than mozzarella, and it is really, really good. Like, you guys should definitely try making this at home. I think you'd really like it. It was not any harder than any of the other pizzas I've made on this channel. But anyways, that's the end of the episode. I hope you like what you saw here today. If you did, why don't you drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching Idiot Proof Cooking. We'll see you again soon.